don't think there's a salesperson on the face of the earth who doesn't want to be good. And there are certain traits about world-class salespeople that you should really follow, should adhere to. For example, one of the objectives that I set for myself is always get to the next step. That means when you're in the meeting, when you're sitting there the first time, you want to establish your second meeting. Now, why do you want to do that? Two things happen when I say to somebody, I'd like to come back. Number one, I get a reaction from them as to whether or not they're really interested. But number two is I set up the next meeting so I don't have to redo it later. It's a crucial step that you need to learn to do. Prospecting is perhaps the single most important thing that a salesperson needs to do if they want to become a world-class salesperson. But it's difficult, and it's not something that we like to do. We would find any reason at all not to prospect, but we need to prospect. In fact, when you start to realize that 65% of what you and I do is finding somebody and telling them we do. So prospecting is crucial for your success and crucial for your company's success as well. It's amazing to me how when we go on a sales call, we get an objection and we're surprised by that objection. No objection is a surprise to you, or at least it shouldn't be. You should anticipate the objection and know how to handle it properly. Similar to what I talked about prospecting, you need to get an appointment, not just simply have a good conversation. I hear this all the time. I've had a great conversation with a person. He's going to call me back in 6 years. That's nothing. You know it's nothing. Why fool yourself? You need to prospect for appointments every single day. No matter what you do, you need to prospect. Interesting concept. I know for a fact that in the course of my selling, a number of people are going to say no to me because I understand that ratio. I don't get upset when somebody says no. In fact, if anything, I count the no's. I know that if I make 19 different presentations and 19 recommendations, I'm going to make a sale. That's what I know. That includes the discussion up front. So I don't get upset when somebody says no to me. In fact, if anything, I want to thank them for saying no because they're getting me closer to a yes. Verification of information is perhaps the single most important thing that you can do to improve your sales. Here's what typically happens. We go ahead and we meet with somebody and we get the information that we think we need. We don't really verify the information, but we think we've got it right. And so what we do is submit a proposal. We send it, we mail it, we get it to the customer, the prospect somehow, and then they say to us, let me think about it. Well, of course they want to think about it because they haven't thought about it before. They haven't seen it before. Why should they know what they're going to do? Instead, what I want you to do is come back and say to the prospect, listen, this is my thinking. This is what I think we should be doing. This is how it should work. And in doing that, you're going to get a verification of being right or wrong. Now, the opposite of right in sales is wrong. The opposite of wrong is right. So if they say to you, no, this is wrong, what's going to happen is they're going to correct you and tell you what the right thing is. Verify your information before you get to your proposal or to your recommendation. Managers and salespeople don't always speak the same language. Now, I don't actually mean they don't actually speak the same language. What I mean is they're not communicating properly. They're not using a commonality of what went on during the course of the day. Too many sales managers are busy trying to figure out how to make management happy, and too many sales reps are busy trying to figure out how to get home that day. I don't want you to do that. I want you to communicate together. I want you to have a common language. I want you to understand what each of you do in the total role of selling. You're doing something great today because you're learning about sales. 90% of salespeople throughout the world don't study selling. They don't even read a sales book. They buy them, but they don't read them. You're taking the time to learn about selling, to learn and hone your craft. As a salesperson, you have to believe that you're the best. I've worked with so many companies that actually think they're number two, which is ridiculous to me. I want you to believe you're the best. I want you to know that you're the best because you are. You're the best that you're going to be, and you're always going to work towards your potential to be number one. That's all that matters. You be number one, and you'll be successful doing it.